There's a moment many of us will never forget, when a doctor looks us in the eyes and says, "This has no cure." Those words feel heavy, final, like a door closing. But what if we've misunderstood the meaning of incurable? Dr. John DeMartini once said something powerful. Incurable just means that the healing must happen from within. What if medicine, as we know it, is only part of the story? Doctors can play an important role. They diagnose, prescribe, and intervene in emergencies. But true healing, the kind that touches your soul, restores your peace, and redefines your entire relationship with life, that doesn't come from a bottle or a machine. Healing is something else entirely. Healing is an internal revolution. It's the daily, conscious decision to reconnect with your purpose, your values, your essence. It is spiritual. We are spiritual beings temporarily inhabiting a physical form. And this body, it's not who we are. It's a vehicle, a costume, a precious but temporary home. Of course, we must care for it. We know the rules. Eat well, move your body, get good sleep. But we often go further, obsessing over every wrinkle, every gray hair, every imperfection. And despite our efforts to perfect the exterior, many still feel empty inside. So what do? We consume. We buy more things. We plan longer trips, chase more experiences, hoping that the next thing will fill that void. But paradoxically, the more we buy, the emptier we feel. Because happiness isn't in what we consume. It's not found in a new fragrance, a box of chocolates, or a luxury car. That's what marketing sells us. Happiness as a product, something to be purchased. But real happiness, and real healing, cannot be bought. It must be cultivated. Some doctors, years ago, laughed at the idea of emotional medicine. They dismissed it as fantasy. They were trained in strict science, diagnoses, symptoms, medications. But time and life have a way of humbling us. Some of those same doctors, after facing serious illness themselves, began to see the truth. They discovered that healing isn't only physical, it's deeply emotional and profoundly spiritual. They learned that there are medicines that don't come in pill form. Things like love, meaning, forgiveness, purpose. These are the medicines of the soul. And what do those medicines teach us? That life is meant to be simple. That joy isn't something to earn, it's something to embrace. That we're not here just to survive. We're here to be happy. And to help others be happy too. That is healing. Not just curing an illness, but awakening a new way of being. So how do we begin that journey of healing? For some, it starts with a personal health crisis. For others, it's a moment of emotional collapse or spiritual awakening. But healing doesn't always require tragedy. It can begin with one question. What am I feeling? And where do I feel it? That question has more power than you think. Medical professionals are trained to treat what can be seen, touched, or measured. But behind every scan and blood test is a person with a story, a mind, and a soul. And the mind? It is deeply connected to the body. Emotions carry messages. They influence how we feel, how we heal, even how our cells regenerate. There is an entire language beneath our symptoms. One that speaks through feelings, not just numbers. Let's talk about emotions. Too often, we see emotions like sadness or anger as weaknesses. But emotions are not the problem. They are part of the body's intelligent design. Sadness, for example, is protective. It pulls us inward after loss, gives us space to grieve, to feel, to regroup. Anger, too, is natural. It sets boundaries. It protects our dignity. The issue arises when we suppress these emotions. When we're told to cheer up, calm down, or move on too quickly. The moment we don't allow emotions to move through us, they become something else. Emotions, by nature, are brief. They last minutes, not days. But when ignored, they evolve into something more corrosive. Resentment, bitterness, or chronic stress. And stress, that has very real biological consequences. Unprocessed emotions trigger chemical reactions. Chronic anger, for example, has been linked to increased blood pressure and heart disease. Resentment over time floods the body with adrenaline and cortisol. These are survival chemicals, useful in short bursts, but damaging when constant. Your body keeps score. It remembers the emotion you didn't process, the words you didn't say, the boundaries you didn't set. And so we grow up believing that saying no is selfish, that expressing anger makes us bad, that fear is a sign of weakness. And this is especially true for children. When a child says, "I'm scared," and the adult replies, "Don't be a coward," the message is, your feelings are not safe here. So they learn to hide. They become adults who don't know how to express, only suppress. But here's the truth. Emotions are not enemies. They're data. They're part of the body's internal compass, guiding us toward what needs attention. What we truly need is emotional literacy. To name what we feel, honor where it lives in the body, and give it room to move through us. Because healing begins when we listen to ourselves. Not just our thoughts, but the whispers of the heart, the tensions in the body, the quiet knowing we often silence. That's where true medicine lives. Let's dive deeper into this connection between emotions, healing, and the body. Imagine a child who was never allowed to express anger. She learns that setting boundaries makes people upset. Over time, she becomes someone who avoids conflict, who says yes when she wants to say no, who tolerates disrespect to keep the peace. But inside, a silent war begins. That inner conflict doesn't disappear, it finds new forms. Anxiety, digestive issues, fatigue, chronic pain. This is why healing isn't just physical, it's emotional re-education. As adults, we carry invisible backpacks filled with years of unspoken pain. No one sees them, but we feel their weight. Emotional healing means unpacking those bags, one memory at a time, one truth at a time. It means asking, what did I need then, that I never received? What have I been afraid to feel? And sometimes, we need to become our own healer. We're used to looking for answers in experts, doctors, therapists, even spiritual leaders. And they can absolutely guide us. But the most important healing voice? It's yours. Your body knows what hurts. Your heart knows what it needs. You just have to listen. Healing begins when we reconnect with that inner voice. The one that says, I matter. My story matters. My feelings are valid. It might feel unfamiliar at first, especially if you've been taught to ignore yourself. But self-love is not indulgent, it's essential. What does it mean to truly love yourself? It's not about mirrors or mantras. It's about actions. Loving yourself is listening when you're tired, resting without guilt, setting boundaries without apology, and saying no without shame. It's holding yourself through the hard days, the tears, the doubts. And guess what? That kind of self-love heals. When you feel safe within your own skin, your nervous system relaxes. Your immune system strengthens. Your heart becomes lighter. That's not a metaphor, it's biology. Oxytocin, endorphins, serotonin. All those feel-good chemicals begin to flow. And they're more powerful than any pill. The same applies to love from others. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be the love of a child, a friend, a pet. Love is medicine. Real, measurable medicine. There are people who've defied terminal diagnoses not through miracle drugs, but because they had something, or someone, to live for. That's not magic. That's the human spirit at work. And no matter your past, it's never too late to start healing. Whether you're holding pain from childhood, heartbreak, or loss, it's possible to transform, to stop surviving and start living. The path begins with a choice, to turn inward, to get curious, to stay compassionate. That's the journey. That's the medicine of the soul. Let's now talk about how we become our own inner doctor. How we tune into the parts of us that were never taught how to feel, how to process, how to heal. The first step? Asking yourself, what do I feel, and where do I feel it? Because every emotion has a physical place in the body. Grief might sit in your chest, anxiety in your stomach, rage in your jaw. By naming it, by locating it, you begin to understand it. You make the invisible visible. Modern medicine often focuses on what can be measured, blood tests, scans, diagnostics. And that has its place. But true wellness lives beyond numbers. Behind every symptom, there's a story. Behind every illness, an emotion. Behind every disease, a message the body is trying to send. Yes, therapists and psychologists help decode those messages. But you? You are the first translator of your inner world. Healing also means deciding what part of your mind you want to operate from. Are you reacting from stress, judgment, criticism? Or are you responding from calm, curiosity, and compassion? Your brain is like a radio. You can tune it to different frequencies. The one you choose will shape your life, your relationships, your health. And it's a daily choice. Sometimes it means taking a breath before you answer. Sometimes it means pausing before reacting. Sometimes it's just remembering, I don't have to carry this alone. You are not alone. There is a sacred space inside you that has never been broken, never been touched by trauma. That's your core. That's your light. That's the place where healing begins. No doctor can give it to you. No therapy can implant it. But when you tap into it, you become unstoppable. This is what soul medicine is. It's not found in pharmacies. It's found in the way you treat yourself when no one is watching. In the way you choose to believe in your worth, even when you don't feel it. In the way you show up for yourself, again and again. And so, I leave you with this. Today, take one small step toward healing. Maybe it's writing down your feelings. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's simply breathing, deeply, consciously for 1 minute. No step is too small. No story is too late to rewrite. Your healing is waiting. Subscribe now to start healing from the inside out.